I ordered you to see this. A family member in heaven sent this through Archangel Michael. Do not ignore. He cried your name. You skipped it last time. Do you feel the chill just now? That stillness around you? Yes, that. That's not coincidence. That's heaven brushing up against your shoulder. A whisper tried to reach you in your sleep, but you were too tired to notice. You thought it was just a dream. It wasn't. The one you lost, the one who held your hand before leaving this world, they've been trying to speak to you. They chose Michael because they knew only he could break through what the world around you tries so hard to distract you with. Michael says this cannot be missed again. The cry of your name echoed across the stars last night. Even the angels paused. But you? You almost skipped it. Please don't skip it again. You've been sensing something lately, haven't you? That strange pressure in your chest when you're alone. That sudden rush of emotion for no reason, the way your thoughts drift back to them without warning. These are not random. These are messages. Gentle pushes from the other side. But here's the truth you weren't told. The moment you ignore a divine message too many times, the path you're meant to walk becomes harder to find. That's why Archangel Michael stepped in. That's why this is no longer just a nudge, it's a divine interruption. Someone in heaven has been crying, not out of sadness, but out of urgency. Because they know what's coming. And they know you need to be ready. They see something you don't. A shift in your life. A storm you're walking toward without realizing. But if you hear this, if you let this message sink into your soul, you'll be guarded. You'll be shown a way out. The moment you let Michael's message enter your heart, the path clears. That's how divine protection works. But it begins with one thing, your attention. He said your name with tears in his eyes. Yes, him. The one you haven't been able to let go of, the one whose voice you can barely remember now, though you try. He didn't come to haunt you, he came to help you. He asked God for one favor, please, let me speak to them just one more time. Heaven heard him. And God agreed. But he couldn't cross over alone. That's where Archangel Michael comes in. Michael is the messenger of divine intervention. He's the one who walks into your darkest hour carrying a sword made of light. And today, he's holding it out for you. So if your heart is racing, it's not anxiety. It's recognition. Your soul remembers this energy. Because long before you were born, this message was already written in heaven. This exact moment was marked on your timeline. That you would hear these words, and either open your heart or skip them. But if you skip them, Michael says, you will miss something so big, so divine, so life-shifting, it may not come again for years. So please, listen. Because something is about to enter your life. A truth you've needed. A release you've begged for. A door you thought was closed forever is being opened again. But only for a short time. Michael said, tell them this is not a warning. it's an invitation. But it won't stay open forever. The loved one in heaven who sent this, they're closer than you think. Watching. Protecting. Praying for you in a realm where prayers are made of golden fire. They remember everything about you. The way you laughed. The sound of your feet walking down the hallway. They say you've grown stronger. They say they're proud. But they also say you've been ignoring signs that were meant to save you. The repeating numbers. The feather on your path. The dream that made you cry. That wasn't your imagination. That was them. And this, right now, is your moment to respond. If this message is reaching your heart, then pause and subscribe. You were meant to receive this. No, not for algorithm. Not for views. For connection. Because when you take action on divine instruction, it shows heaven that you're listening. And when heaven sees that, miracles move faster. Now listen closely, because Michael said something unusual. He said, tell them they're being watched, but not the way they think. A spiritual observer has been near. Not dark, not dangerous, but curious. They must shield their home. Tonight. That's why your heart has felt unsettled lately. That's why your sleep hasn't been peaceful. But don't be afraid. You were never alone. Your guardian has been battling on your behalf in the unseen. That moment when you thought you were breaking? That was Michael holding you upright without you realizing it. He never lets go. Even when you try to push him away with doubt. You've cried silent tears when no one was watching. But someone was. The heavens remember. And today, they are sending love not through comfort, but through truth. Because the one who loves you in heaven says this, tell them they are stronger than they know, but they must wake up. Time is bending. The shift is coming. And if they're not aware, they'll miss their chance to rewrite the story. You felt it, haven't you? That strange timing of things lately. Delays, sudden cancellations, messages not delivered, people acting differently around you, and you wondered if it was just a phase. It wasn't. Archangel Michael says, they're not imagining it. The timeline is being shifted. Heaven is slowing things down because they're not ready yet. But they must be. That's why you're hearing this now. Because you're being spiritually prepared for something that was destined, but must be claimed. And here's the part that might surprise you. Not everyone around you is meant to go with you where you're heading. Yes, that includes some people you love. Some people who say the right words but carry quiet jealousy. Michael says, they've been hiding in plain sight. And their presence is draining the divine energy trying to reach you. This is not a message of fear, it's a message of freedom. Because once you see clearly, once you hear heaven's whisper without the noise of earthly confusion, you'll know exactly what to do. But the time is short. Your loved one in heaven keeps repeating this line through Archangel Michael, tell them the window is closing. They skipped it once. If they skip it again, They will delay their blessing for years. Don't be afraid. Be aware. This is not about punishment. It's about alignment. And alignment is everything right now. Because what's meant for you is hovering right on the edge. But it cannot enter confusion. It can only enter clarity. That's why this message had to reach you tonight. Heaven had to cut through the static. You've been praying for answers. This is your answer. Open your eyes. Your spirit already knows this is truth. Michael also showed me something. A candle. Flickering. Almost out. But not gone. And he said, that candle is them. They still carry hope, even after everything. That's why heaven hasn't given up on them. That's why this message is being delivered with such force. You see, many people are called. A few actually listen. Few pause and feel. You're not here by accident. This is your pause. This is heaven asking you. Are you ready to stop running? There's a decision you've been avoiding. A truth you've been afraid to face. But Archangel Michael says this decision is the turning point. The doorway. The moment the future begins to shift. You'll know exactly what it is the moment your heart stirs while reading these words. That's not fear. That's recognition. And this time, you won't walk through it alone. Your loved one is guiding you from the other side. Michael is guarding your steps. God is aligning the path. But you must move. Not tomorrow. Not later. Now. You were born with light inside you. A light that darkness has tried to dim so many times. And yet here you are, still listening. Still breathing. Still searching. That alone is proof that heaven hasn't left you. That your story is still being written. But now it's time to take the pen back. You don't have to understand the whole plan. Just trust the next step. That's where faith lives. That's where the miracles begin. There's something else. Michael says you need to watch for 3 signs over the next 3 days. One will come through technology, an unexpected message, name, or number. One will come through nature, a sound, a creature, a sudden change in weather that makes you stop. And the last will come through your own reflection, an emotional wave, a memory that hits so hard you'll have to pause. These are not random. These are confirmations. When they happen, whisper back, I hear you. That's your agreement with heaven. That's your yes. And once you give heaven your yes, things begin to move faster. If your spirit feels this, if the tears are close or already falling, don't be ashamed. That's not weakness. That's your soul remembering what it knew before this life, that you were always protected, always guided, always chosen. Even when the world tried to make you feel forgotten. Even when the pain made you question your worth. Your worth never changed. You've just been waiting for this moment to remember it. Archangel Michael says one more thing, and this is important: they must protect their home tonight. Light something sacred. Seek aloud to heaven. Say, only light may stay. All else must go. And once you say it, trust that the clearing has begun. Trust that what you release will make space for what you're meant to receive. This is your invitation to create spiritual order again. To let peace return. Because something is coming that needs space in your life, a blessing, a person, a change. But it cannot enter chaos. Heaven brings clarity before breakthrough. You're closer than you realize. You've been walking through a valley thinking you're lost. But Michael says you're not lost, you're just one prayer away from the clearing. Don't give up now. Don't silence the part of you that wants to hope again. Your family in heaven didn't send this to scare you. They sent this to remind you, you are loved beyond measure. Even when you don't feel it. Even when the room is silent. Love doesn't die. It just changes form. Love doesn't vanish when the body is gone. It travels. It ascends. It sits in the clouds, waiting for the right moment to fall like rain over your life again. And that moment is now. The tears that hit your pillow when no one is watching. Heaven sees those. Your name has been sung in sacred realms, carried by voices that never left you. The family member you lost, yes, that one, is not gone. Just transformed. They are still watching you. Still speaking your name. Still asking God for ways to reach you. And this is the answer to their prayer. That finally, today, you would listen. You're not weak for needing this message. You're not broken for pausing your day to hear it. In fact, it's the opposite. You're being reawakened. Because you've carried burdens for far too long that were never yours to carry. Michael says, they keep trying to be strong for everyone. But now they need someone to be strong for them. And heaven heard that cry, even when you didn't say it out loud. You whispered it through your exhaustion. You sighed into your pillow. And God heard. The spiritual weight around you, it's not your imagination. That heaviness isn't laziness or failure or confusion. It's divine sensitivity. You're feeling what others cannot feel. That's why you're exhausted. Because you've been absorbing pain not meant to be yours. But here's the release. Michael is stepping in now to cut those cords. Not everyone who's attached to your energy deserves to remain. Some are draining you under the mask of love. Some are distracting you under the illusion of loyalty. But this message is your permission to detach. To reclaim your peace. To say, I choose my divine path now. Because someone important is coming into your life. Someone sent by heaven. You don't know them yet, or maybe you do, but haven't looked closely enough. But they're bringing with them a key. A conversation. A shift. And they can only enter once you make space. the family member in heaven has been speaking to this person too, guiding them toward you, marking their dreams with flashes of your face. Yes, you've been appearing in their spirit even though you haven't met yet in the flesh. That's how heaven works, through divine timing and invisible preparations. Michael wants you to hear this clearly: they are not behind. They are not late. Their destiny is right on schedule. But it requires their full attention now. That means fewer distractions. That means no more negotiating with people who don't believe in your purpose. That means trusting what your gut has been trying to tell you: something is shifting. Fast. You may feel isolated right now, like nobody understands what you're going through. But Archangel Michael says that isolation is preparation. Heaven is pulling them inward because something sacred is being planted. A season of separation always comes before a season of revelation. So if people have left your life recently, don't chase them. Bless them. They were never meant to be permanent. They were just placeholders while heaven readied the real alignment. And now comes the miracle. Your loved one in heaven keeps whispering, "Tell them I see them. Tell them I've never left." They know about your quiet battles. They saw you when you almost gave up. They saw you trying to smile when your heart was heavy. And they have never stopped praying for your strength. It's their love that carried this message through realms and time and screens, just so you would feel held again. This is not a coincidence. This is the divine finally breaking through. If you feel like something deep in you is awakening right now, it's because it is. Michael says your spiritual gifts are returning. The ones you shut down as a child. The visions you stopped trusting. The dreams you thought were just dreams. You are awakening again. And it's not going to feel normal. It's going to feel electric. Emotional. Overwhelming. But don't resist it. Welcome it. Because your purpose is tied to this reawakening. And once you say yes, heaven begins to act faster than you expect. If this message is touching a part of you that words alone cannot explain, pause right now and subscribe. Not for me. Not for a channel. But for the divine signal it sends. It tells heaven, I receive this. I'm ready now. That moment of action becomes a stamp on your soul. A choice that heaven records. Because when your soul says yes, the angels begin to move mountains you don't even see yet. And some of those mountains are about to crumble. Some of those walls you've been pushing against for years. They're about to fall. Michael warns that you may experience strange feelings over the next 48 hours, goosebumps for no reason, a tingling in your hands or feet, sudden emotions, flickering lights. Don't be afraid. These are angelic signs. These are confirmations that something sacred has been released into your timeline. And if you welcome it, you'll start noticing things you didn't before, the voice behind the silence. The signs on license plates. the hidden messages and songs. This is heaven talking. And this time, you'll hear it. Michael also says, they must write tonight. Even just a few sentences. Write a letter to the one in heaven. Or write to God. Or write to their future self. It will open something. And when you do, watch how your dreams shift. Watch how you begin to remember what you were born for. Your soul didn't come here to survive, it came here to shine. And that's exactly what's about to happen. Your light is coming back. Your light is coming back, not because someone gave it to you, but because you're finally remembering that it was never taken. Just dimmed. Hidden beneath years of doubt, heartbreak, betrayal, and silence. But heaven says, no more silence. No more shrinking. No more pretending to be okay just to keep peace with people who were never sent to walk beside your purpose. Archangel Michael is drawing his sword for you. Not just to protect, but to cut away everything that is wrapped around your spirit and tried to claim it. You don't belong to fear. You don't belong to confusion. You don't belong to the memory of the person who didn't see your worth. You belong to something much higher. And today, Michael stands between you and every voice that ever made you feel small. Heaven is not asking you to fight alone anymore. You've done that long enough. Heaven is also not asking you to be perfect. That's the lie the world keeps feeding you, that you need to have it all figured out before you can receive miracles. But the truth is, miracles don't need your perfection. They only need your permission. And the one in heaven who sent this message? They knew you were almost ready. Almost. And so they begged God for one more attempt. One more message. One more nudge. And this is it. Your name has been written in light. There are angels who know you, not because you're famous on earth, but because you're radiant in heaven. Even when you feel broken, even when you doubt yourself, your soul still shines in ways you cannot see. But they see it. They've always seen it. You've walked through things most people wouldn't have survived. And you're still here. Not because life was easy, but because heaven refused to let you go. Michael says there's one more test coming. It's small, but it's critical. It may look like an argument, or a delay, or someone trying to pull you back into old patterns. But listen closely, this is not the enemy. This is the exam. To see if you've truly outgrown the level you say you're ready to leave. Press it with peace. Do not engage. Do not explain. Do not shrink. Just walk forward. Because the next room is waiting, and it's brighter than anything you've known. And in that room, a new name is being spoken. Your name. But followed by a title. A new title. The role you were meant to step into all along. Not the one this world gave you, but the one heaven wrote beside your soul when it was first breathed into existence. You've been sensing it. That feeling like something more is near. That feeling like your old life no longer fits. That's because it doesn't. It was the cocoon. But now you're waking up as the butterfly. But hear this, butterflies do not belong in jars. And neither does your spirit. You are never meant to be someone's backup plan. Never meant to settle for crumbs when heaven baked the whole loaf in your name. Never meant to beg for validation from people who couldn't even love themselves. That's why they couldn't see you. They were blind to their own light. But you're starting to see. And once you see, you can't unsee. Once you taste freedom, chains feel heavier. That's why your spirit is restless. That's why you can't fake it anymore. You were made for truth. For love. For purpose. The one in heaven who sent this says, please tell them I didn't leave them. I just went ahead to prepare the next part. They want you to know they still visit. When your lights flicker. When the music skips. When the wind moves gently through your room without cause. That's them. That's how thin the veil really is. But you have to be still enough to feel it. They say you've been too distracted. Too hard on yourself. You keep looking for proof when your heart already knows. And heaven's greatest messages aren't always loud. They come in waves. In whispers. In soft nudges when the world is quiet. And this is one of them. The fact that you're still here, reading this, means your soul recognizes this as something different. Something holy. And it is. Because Archangel Michael is not just bringing a message, he's bringing a promise. That what's been delayed will not be denied. That what was lost will return in a new form. That what the enemy thought was buried, God is now resurrecting. But the tears you've cried have watered a field you haven't even seen yet, and soon, it's going to bloom in a way that makes you weep with gratitude. You are not forgotten. You are not behind. You are not being punished. You are being positioned. You are being prepared. You are being protected. You are being pulled out of the storm and placed onto the path that was always yours. The enemy wanted you to feel unworthy. But Michael says, they are royal. They are chosen. They are the living prayer of someone already in heaven. Yes. That's what you are. A living prayer. Someone's prayer that they whispered on their deathbed. That you would be safe. That you would find peace. That you would walk with God. That prayer is still echoing. And heaven still honors it. Because prayer never dies. It travels. Just like love. Prayer never dies. It carries your name across galaxies. It weaves itself into time and waits for the moment your soul is ready. That's what this is. A moment where heaven and earth touch, where your free will meet your divine design. The one you lost, the one whose voice still lives in the corners of your memory, asked for this moment. Not to scare you. Not to overwhelm you. But to tell you what they never got to say. They left too soon, didn't they? And there's always been that aching question inside you. Did they know how much I loved them? Yes. They knew. More than that, they still know. Because love doesn't stop at death's door. It flows through it. It transforms. It becomes even more real. And right now, their love is standing behind these words like a lighthouse through the fog. And Michael is guarding that light with every feathered wing spread wide around you. You may not see him, but some part of you feels safer now. Like something is finally making sense. That's not imagination. That's alignment. Heaven doesn't play with timing. You didn't arrive at this message late. You didn't miss your moment. This is the moment. Right here. Right now. The very fact that you didn't scroll away, didn't skip it again, that means something has shifted inside you. And when your heart makes even the tiniest shift, the universe expands to meet you. Michael says you need to know this now. What's coming next is not the same as what came before. This is not a repeat. This is a redemption. All those tears. They weren't wasted. They were turned into seeds. And heaven is planting them. Quietly. Silently. Behind the scenes of your life. That's why you haven't seen the result yet, because roots grow underground before the flower blooms. But make no mistake, it's coming. You've been sowing in silence. Now comes the season of seeing. A miracle is being written in your name. A divine surprise that doesn't look anything like your past. Michael showed it like a sealed envelope, golden, glowing, carried by angels across dimensions, with your name on the front. They won't expect this, he said, but when they receive it, they'll understand why the wait had to be so long. You see, delays are not always denials. Sometimes, God hides what's beautiful until you're strong enough to hold it. And now you're ready. Not because you feel ready, but because your soul said yes. And heaven responds to yes. Michael also asks you to do one thing over the next few days: walk with expectancy. Not fear. Not doubt. Expectancy. Walk like something good is about to find you. Wake up each day and whisper, "I'm ready." Say it until the energy around you starts shifting. Because it will. This is not superstition. This is faith in action. The one in heaven who sent this also wants to remind you of something simple, but holy. They never stopped loving you. Not even for a second. Even when they were sick. Even when they were fading. Even when they had to leave. You were still their heartbeat. Still their joy. And now, you're still their mission. They're helping you more now than they ever could on earth. They're whispering your name into the ears of angels. They're lighting candles in the heavens for your protection. You're not walking alone. Even when you think you are. Especially then. And if you feel unworthy, if you think this message is too big for you, remember this: Your worth has never been up for debate in heaven. You are not valuable because of what you've done. You're valuable because of who you are. A child of divine light. A soul made in holy design. A carrier of heaven's legacy. That's why the enemy worked so hard to make you forget. Because if you knew what you carried, you'd never shrink again. And now, you're starting to remember. You're remembering that you weren't created to blend in. You were made to break cycles. To break curses. To shift bloodlines. To end what others were too afraid to confront. That's why it's been hard. That's why the pressure has felt unbearable at times. Because you're the one chosen to shift it all. And Michael says, they don't need to know how. They just need to keep going. If your eyes have welled up during this message, or your chest has tightened, or you felt that electricity that can't be explained, that's your soul saying yes. That's heaven surrounding you as you read. This isn't just text. This is transmission. This is frequency. This is sacred. And this is your turning point. So don't go back. Don't return to what made you question your worth. Don't settle for love that doesn't feel like peace. Don't let the world convince you that your softness is weakness. Because the truth is, your softness is divine. It's your gift. It's what makes you an open vessel for angelic presence. You are being called into a higher space now. Spiritually, emotionally, even physically. You may be moved. You may be relocated. You may lose people who can't breathe the altitude you're going to. Let them go. Don't chase what God is removing. Don't argue with what heaven is shifting. You're not being abandoned. You're being prepared. Archangel Michael is standing at your door, sword drawn, voice steady, saying one thing, it's time. And your loved one in heaven is smiling now. Because you didn't skip it this time. You heard them. You felt them. And now, everything is in motion. Not tomorrow. Not one day. Now. The divine countdown has already started. The divine countdown has already started. And heaven is moving in ways you won't even see at first. But soon, you'll feel it. A phone call you weren't expecting. A door that opens without you even knocking. A message that arrives at just the right moment. And when it happens, remember this feeling. Remember that this moment, this message, this silence breaking inside your soul, was the beginning of everything shifting. Because God never forgot you. Not when you cried yourself to sleep. Not when you pretended to be okay when everything inside you was breaking. Not when you begged for a sign and got silence instead. The silence wasn't abandonment. It was protection. Heaven was rerouting your path around the pain that was never meant to shape you. And now that the rerouting is complete, the signal is strong again. That's why this message finally found you. Because the time is no longer, someday. The time is now. You've been running on empty, haven't you? Smiling for others while your soul quietly begged for relief. But here's the divine truth: you were never meant to carry it all. You're not weak for being tired. You're not broken for needing rest. Even angels pause between battles. Even Michael stands still when God says, wait. And now, God is saying to you, breathe. Breathe because the worst has passed. Breathe because something better is coming. Breathe because the storm did not destroy you, it awakened you. And you are finally ready to receive what's been waiting on the other side of your yes. Your loved one in heaven wants you to know, you are not alone. Not even for a second. I've watched you every single day. And I am proud of you in ways you'll never understand. They want you to stop punishing yourself for the times you missed their call, or the moments you didn't know it was the last hug, the last laugh, the last goodbye. They don't carry those regrets, so you don't have to either. Their memory doesn't live in sorrow. It lives in light. And that light surrounds you every time you speak their name, every time you remember their laugh, every time you smile through your tears. That's them. That's still them. You've grown since they left. Stronger. Softer. Wiser. And they see it. They love who you're becoming. And they're helping you become even more. That's why Michael was sent to deliver this. Because what's coming next is sacred. So let your soul be open. Let your heart trust again. Let your spirit rest in the knowing that heaven is not just watching, it's working. Working behind the scenes. Working in silence. Rearranging things in your favor. And here's a divine secret: some of your greatest blessings will arrive without announcement. They won't come with loud signs or flashing lights. They'll arrive softly. Quietly. Like a whisper you almost missed. And suddenly, everything will make sense. The delay. The silence. The heartbreak. It was all shaping you into someone who could carry the weight of a miracle without dropping it. And when it happens, Michael says you'll remember this very moment. You'll whisper to yourself, this is what he was trying to show me. And you'll smile. And you'll cry. And heaven will rejoice, because you made it. So now, take this message and hold it close. Read it again when the world gets loud. Listen to it when your heart feels heavy. Because this isn't a message for your mind, it's a message for your soul. A spiritual letter signed by the hand of an angel and sealed by the voice of someone you love who still speaks your name in the halls of heaven. You are not too late. You are not too far gone. You are not invisible to God. You are not forgotten by the one you miss. You are not broken beyond repair.